When visiting an estranged parent after many years and they're now in a dementia unit, be prepared for any number of eventualities. Firstly, they may not recognise you, especially if they haven't seen you for a long time, and it will take a lot of time, energy and input to get that recognition. Secondly, they may get recognition on reminiscing, such as with photograph albums of you and your parent when you were younger. Thirdly, recognition may come and go. And fourthly, they may mistake you for another relative. So irrespective of any of these outcomes, greet your parent with something like, "Hi, I'm Jane. Mum, it's me, Jane. I've come to visit you. I've been away for a long time, but now I'm back." So she knows who you are. She knows where you've been. She knows you're back. And there is a chance of recognition if she's having a good day, and indeed she can recognise. Now, in terms of establishing the relationship from that point on, it really depends on a number of factors. It depends on their behaviour and it depends on their physical ability. Now, in terms of their behaviour, if they are anywhere on the spectrum of depression through to anxiety and confusion as well with that, then treat your parent with the tips and techniques which I've given in both books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, and the epilogues at the back, especially Resident's Rise. And in these videos, I've done many videos on these topics, depression, anxiety, anger especially. So what you do is you type in Pieta Valentine, then dementia, and then depression or anxiety or anger, whichever topic you wish to go with. Okay, so with depression and anxiety, go with the previous videos or the books, but I will go into detail with anger because this is a very complex issue. And especially if you've been estranged from your parent, if there's been hurt and harm issues in the past, of course, we're more easily triggered. So there's a lot to consider. So I'll go through aspects here. Okay, the first thing is whether, okay, so assuming your parent is angry, still angry, maybe they were angry in the past and now they're still angry, maybe even more angry than before, but establishing yourself in the present moment as things are now. Establishing whether their anger is low, moderate or high, because the way you approach it is different for each level. If the person is at low level anger, just frustrated, angst, but not aggressive, not verbally aggressive and certainly not physically aggressive, then you will be able to take them outside for a walk. Now that's probably the best thing you can do because it's easier on both parties and nature and fresh air and sunshine does wonders. Exercise, endorphins, etc. always helps. Fitness and exercise, etc. all the benefits we know there. So that's for low anger. But once the anger starts creeping up to moderate with verbal aggression, and then of course high level physical aggression, that is when it gets really complicated. Because if the person gets angry and starts to threaten other dementia residents or staff, or even at risk factors, if it becomes a risk factor for the safety, especially of the elderly residents and also of staff, then the person will either need to go to a higher level facility where there's restraints or get medicated. And that creates real problems in itself. But in terms of your relationship with your parent who's still angry, assuming they're still in the D3 initial entry unit, and how you establish that. Well, if there's no recognition and they're at high level anger, I mean, really the best, and it's triggering you especially, really the best thing to do is to support the power of attorney or the main support person of your parent. Support them, because it may be that the parent is not angry with their main support person. That actually is often the case, that they're flared up with everyone else, but when their main support person comes in, they calm right down. So that being the case, you can just say to the power of attorney or main support person, how can I support you to support mum or dad? What can I do to help? Also, you can go to the carer of your parent and say, what can I do to help? There's always something to do to help, always. And, you know, the power of attorney, it may be as simple as getting the shampoos and soaps. I mean, every job is a job, and one less job is a help. You know, you can get the soaps, the shampoos, maybe anything else they need from the chemist, pack that all up, bring it to the unit, give it to the charge nurse or the carer, and that's one less job for the power of attorney or main support person, who is no doubt under stress, because if the person's high level anger, they'll be getting phone calls every day or every second day or whatever it is, whenever there's an event, because the nurse always has to phone the relative whenever there's an aggressive event, and it just becomes, you know, it becomes high level stress actually for the main support person. So if you can alleviate that, fantastic. The carer may well say, well, look, it's winter, it's getting cold, your mother needs a warm duvet, you know, for the evenings, and maybe some slippers or a dressing gown or whatever it is, and you can get that. So this is, you know, the periphery support is fabulous. Now, if you're going to visit your parent, you'd like to visit your parent still, even though they're angry, even though they don't recognize you, go with someone else if you can. It's so much easier. If someone's angry, when you're visiting someone that's angry at a dementia unit, it's quite stressful. And it's good to go with someone who's strong, like a brother or a friend, a male, so that if it's your father, if he gets aggressive and you can see he's about to lash out, your brother or friend can just restrain him. It's really helpful because it will prevent other people from being harmed, at least at that moment. They'll be held to account. It may get through that that's not suitable behaviour. There was one resident where his son did actually manage to restrain him when he was about to lash out at a woman in the dementia unit who had been harassing him for many weeks. And he realised his behaviour was wrong and actually managed to turn it round, which was incredible. So these are all the triggers. This is the situation if your parent is in a dementia unit and you haven't seen them for a long time. I'll be doing other videos on this topic, but this is for the D3, first level entry dementia unit, visiting an estranged parent, depression, anxiety. Look at the books, Residents' Voice, Residents' Rise, and videos. And with anger, be particularly careful about how you approach it, with advice given and using your common sense and understanding and wisdom, which no doubt by now you have in abundance. So thank you for your support and likes and views, and please pass on. Thank you.